Hi, I'm Andrew Gothelf with the AppExchange marketing team. Welcome to App Talks. App Talks is a series of conversations with Salesforce customers about how business apps from the AppExchange help improve business outcomes. Today, I'm joined by Tom Lazenga, Vice President of Financial Services at TNS, and we're here to talk about Expedite Commerce CPQ. Tom, welcome to App Talks. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So to start, can you give the audience a sense of what exactly TNS is?
Yeah, so TNS is a large multinational firm that provides mission-critical infrastructure to financial services industry. So, we're supporting all the tier one financial institutions with their capital markets transactions, brokerage trades, market data, things like that. We also provide mission-critical infrastructure for the payments industry that supports credit card transactions and things of that nature. And then we have a third division supporting wholesale telco. We provide a variety of services to the large tier one telecommunications companies.
Yeah, so a huge global company. What does it mean you're the Vice President of Financial Services at TNS?
Yeah, so I manage the U.S. sales team, and then I also manage global sales operations. So, ensuring that processes are succinct, efficient, everyone's happy, the handoff from sales to the internal organizations is correct, and, making sure that we generate sales, keep customers happy.
Important job.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the story in two parts. We're going to talk about ordering and billing. To start, we'll talk about ordering. And in order to get to the point where we're talking about Expedite Commerce, I think it's important to go back a little bit and talk about how things were before. So can you give me a sense of what your technology stack looked like before Expedite Commerce and some of the challenges it was creating?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I think about before Expedite, we had Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and we had Microsoft Word manual order forms, if you want to call that a system. It was the system had been in place for a long time. Sales didn't like it. It was very difficult to use. It had no tie-in to any other internal systems. It was very difficult for them for us to sort of get any valuable information out of our CRM tool. These manual Microsoft Word documents were, difficult to track. They had everyone had their own formats. You had orders being. I had no concept of how many orders were out with customers, what was on those orders, the legal language that was included. There were no standards. It was very difficult for us to sort of have any insight or intelligence into what was going on.
So you had lack of visibility, manual inputs, unstandardized documents. How is that impacting sales reps and TNS team as well as the TNS customers?
Yeah, so I think sales was slowed down by, unable to be able to get orders out the door quickly. It was something that they'd have to manually put together these documents. They'd have to put in the legal language. They'd have to put in all of the order line items and things like that. Nothing was standard. Once an order was closed, it would be something that they'd have to send to our internal service delivery teams manually. Again, hopefully they remember that sort of thing. Our customers aren't seeing things the same every time. They might get it even to the same customer. The order form might look different. Different sales reps use different order forms globally. It was causing, it can cause some confusion in terms of it doesn't have a standard look and feel that didn't kind of give it that, a good, standard feel.
I can see that this is something that you needed to fix. I can understand that. So what was the process like for going about trying to, tackle all these challenges?
We started with evaluating our CRM tool. That's kind of how this all got started. Was everyone had agreed Microsoft Dynamics was not a good tool to use. It was slowing us down. It didn't have good. It didn't have a mobile concept. All the sales reps want to be able to get stuff on their phone and be able to put in their opportunities and manage everything that way. And then we had brought Salesforce in to tell us about the CRM tool and sort of what it could do and things like that. And we also had Expedite come in separately as we were evaluating a variety of vendors to sort of look at our CPQ system. This wasn't something that was I felt like we were going to be solving initially. You know, when I had my first conversation with you guys, it was all based around solving our CRM platform. But you know, after having a couple conversations with Expedite and you know evaluating the landscape of other providers with CPQ systems, we really felt that you know there were a lot of pros and cons to all of the other providers, but it was the Expedite Commerce really checked all the boxes. You know, it was the type of thing that, you know, everything we were looking for, we were able to get done. And, you know, we ended up going with both of you guys for our solution.
Yeah. What was the vision maybe that Expedite Commerce painted for TNS that made you feel like they were really the right partner in this journey?
Right. So it was, you know, it's funny to say this. Every time I would ask a question and be like, is this possible? The answer was always yes. And, you know, you think maybe I'm just talking to a salesperson. Maybe, you know, this isn't, they're just telling me what I want to hear. But I mean, we had a demo up and running of kind of the concept of what we were trying to do within weeks.
Wow.
You know, I couldn't believe it. So
I mean, I've heard about these projects taking months, but it sounds like you were able to get everything up and running pretty quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, it was the type of thing, you know, we spent a couple weeks going back and forth with requirements, you know, exchanged a few Word documents, sort of agreed to what we were trying to do. And we even, you know, I was initially apprehensive about this. As I mentioned, we had manual Word documents. Obviously, these need to be printed and signed. Expedite was confident that they could deliver on online signature as an additional, you know, value add to the delivery, no additional cost, no additional effort, and we decided to go for it. And you know, within that couple weeks of evaluating requirements and going through the process, it was you know, we were able to have the entire thing delivered end to end within a month, and it worked great, simple and easy to use, exactly what we talked about, and we have online signature. It's, you know, wins all around.
It's incredible. So, yeah. I mean, think about how things were before and now how things are in terms of ordering with Expedite Commerce. What have the benefits been for TNS?
Well, I think the biggest benefit has been simplifying the process and standardizing across the board. I mean, if I think about before, we have all these manual documents being sent globally, you know, in every country, everyone's doing it differently. It has different language, there's different, you know, line items. There's no kind of standards or formats, all different.
It sounds like a nightmare for you.
It was. It certainly was. And you think about now, you know, we have one form online that everyone uses globally. The line items are all the same. The legal language is the same. It includes online signature. I have reports. I'm able to track how many orders go out, what's on those orders, how long they've been out, how long it takes to close. And then when they actually do close, we automatically kick off workflow with our service delivery team that, you know, can then report on and provide status updates to sales in the same system. It's all, you know, integrated together. It's, you know, it's saved us a lot of time and energy, and, you know, gives me a lot more insight into what's going on in the business.
Yeah, that's huge. So that's the ordering part. Let's move now to talk about billing. Can you give me a sense of the scale of what billing is like at TNS and some of the challenges that you were having prior to using Expedite Commerce CPQ to solve some of the billing problems?
Absolutely. I mean, when I think about billing, you know, we had in place an archaic billing system that wasn't even supported anymore for, you know, years. And it today, like telco billing and fintech, and, you know, when you think about like all the challenges that go into billing and all the various jurisdictions globally that a multinational firm encounters, you know, there are a lot of challenges that we would have to deal with, and to be able to consolidate that into one system being done the same way, that's efficient, standard, integrated with our CPQ processes, was kind of a dream for us. You know, that this is something that could be done. You know, and it was you know, something that we were very excited about to do with Expedite.
Yeah. What were the biggest issues maybe that were impacting people on your team in terms of how billing ran before Expedite?
Well, I mean, for one, again, if you think about manual Word documents previously with the old CPQ system, those were then printed out and handed off to our billing department, who would then go through and manually validate all the billing items and then manually input those into the billing system, only to be run through another team whenever we would actually run the bill cycle, where we would actually go through and validate what the bill team had done. You kind of have 3 or 4 teams involved, manually inputting all these various items one by one. It would create a lot of opportunity for things to go wrong. So if you think about, every handoff is an opportunity for something to go wrong. Everything's manual kind of across the board. There's no integration. There's no intelligence. You can't tell what's going on within the month or, at the end of the month. Even getting reporting out is kind of after the fact because everyone's rushing so hard to get the billing out the door.
So a lot of headaches on the billing side as well, clearly. How did Expedite Commerce help?
Again, similar to what we did with the CPQ system, we sat down, went through what we were trying to do, evaluated, our various requirements, which, are pretty sizable. There's a lot of nuance to billing when it comes to all the different components, including telco, infrastructure, software, and then all the various jurisdictions globally. Setting up a foundation for a system that can support all that is no small task, and I was concerned about what we would or wouldn't be able to do. We had talked about it initially during the CPQ implementation, but to draw it all up as we were getting ready for this for the billing implementation, it was a sizable thing, and they were able to put it together for us. Again, few weeks of back and forth, finalizing requirements, everyone agreeing to sort of what we were trying to do. And then, we're able to view a demo within a few weeks of the requirements being complete that was, succinct, that was easy to use, that, sort of met our requirements and we were really excited about.
Yeah. And so you turned a lot of those manual processes into automated processes, and sort of what were the big ways in which the technology helped improve the whole system?
Yeah, so I mean, if you think about, we see this demo, and then a month, 2 months later, you have this billing system implemented. It has end-to-end integration with our CPQ system, which we had just done. It provides instant intelligence, so I'm able to run a report at any point during the month to say this is kind of what's included.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. We've eliminated a lot of teams who were involved previously. So if you think about prior to that, we had our service delivery team involved. We had a billing implementation team. We had a bill cycle team, all manually running processes that would take long periods of time, that would make our ability to meet our deadlines to get billing out the door difficult. And intelligence is something we would be gathering after. Whereas now we have all of this is integrated with our CPQ system. Our service delivery team inputs the billing right into the system through Expedite. And as a result, we're able to gather intelligence sort of immediately as we go through our bill cycle. We have one team that does the billing now, and it's really one person, and all they have to do is push a button to be able to run the cycle, and billing's done.
Everyone else is freed up to do more high-value tasks that before, when they were just inputting a bunch of numbers and checking documents and everything.
Yeah, I mean, now we're able to review the billing in real time. We'll be able to have an idea of what's going on. If all our checks and validations are automated, and we have reports that can be run at any time to be able to look into something. We have real conversations about what's going on with our business, as opposed to how close are we to our deadline to getting this out the door? We got to rush. Let's get this out. Billing's more accurate. The teams are under less pressure. It's just wins across the board.
It sounds to me like Expedite Commerce is pretty popular around the TNS offices.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What would you say, we talked about the two parts, we've got the ordering, we've got the billing. I mean, big picture, what have the biggest benefits been to TNS from implementing Expedite Commerce CPQ?
I think the biggest benefit has just been efficiency across the board. I mean, if you think about where we were before, I think about it as like the dark ages. We had manual processes in our Microsoft CRM system. We had manual Word documents. We had manual billing processes with multiple teams involved, multiple handoffs, all of which could go wrong. Today we have one system, Salesforce and Expedite Commerce combined, CPQ, end-to-end processes, succinct, interfaced, very easy to report on, get good intelligence out of. It flows right into our billing processes where it's one handoff to one person who can easily review all the information, validate what needs to be validated in real time throughout the month, run our bill cycle within minutes, and we have billing out the door. We've been able to shorten order to cash cycles. We have faster, more accurate billing. We have a better customer experience across the board. I mean, it's been great.
It's an incredible transformation from what you were telling me how things were before to how they are now. That's really amazing.
Absolutely.
So you've had all this success in terms of implementing billing functionality in your department with Expedite Commerce CPQ. What does the future look like in terms of rolling this out across the rest of TNS?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to report that we're going to be rolling this out globally to all the rest of our divisions. Everyone's been very happy with the job that Expedite's done with financial services on our initial implementation. It's created a lot of wins for us internally, and we're looking forward to rolling it out globally.
So one of the ways that we like to wrap up on App Talks is with a little peer-to-peer advice. So what have you learned through this process that you think might be helpful for others to think about as they're going through something similar?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, breaking it up into phases was a really valuable thing that we did. Setting these projects up into manageable chunks makes your chances for success so much greater. I mean, we were able to get a win with Expedite, within a couple months of even being introduced to them, really. It's a few weeks to come up with the requirements, a month for delivery, and then a few weeks for testing, and that's a win. We have a CPQ system that sales is immediately thrilled about. They can set up on their phone, all that kind of stuff. And I think that if we would have tried to do everything together in one go, it would have been too disruptive. It would have been too much, too many teams involved, too long of a lead time.
Yeah, that's great advice. I love the story. Tom, Thanks so much for coming on and joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining us on another episode of App Talks.